Welcome back to the FAQ video series on the KNX IP BAOS 777. In this video, we take a look at how we can implement shutter control in the visualization of the BAOS. I am back here in the EDS6 in this little example project, and here I have already added the KNX IP Multi IO to use one of its output as a shutter actuator. Now, before we go to the Multi IO, let us first of all set up the BAOS 777. So therefore I go into the parameters, and there within the kitchen I now want to add the shutter control. And here I can now choose between shutter control with or without feedback, or jalousie control with or without feedback. Now, shutter is without movable slats, while the jalousie control is with movable slats, which we then can also control from the visualization of the BAOS. Now in this case I want to use the jalousie control with state, so therefore I enter it here and type in a name for it, so jalousie. And now that I have added this function to the kitchen, we can take a look at the group objects, and now here we see three new group objects for the jalousie control. We have one up-down command, one step-stop command, which is used to stop it and to move the slats. And then we have the feedback object, so the height of the jalousie. So now that I have added it, we can go ahead and create the necessary group addresses. So I open up the group addresses panel, and here I've already created the middle groups, and now I only need to create the group addresses. Now that I have added the group addresses, I can now link them to the group objects, so up down to up down, stop to stop, and then we have the feedback. And then the same applies for the Multi IO. Here I also have up down, the stop command, and the height. And with that finished, I can now start to download those informations onto the Multi IO, BAOS, and to the IP router. And after the download has finished, I can open up the web interface. But before I go into the web interface, I first of all start the diagnostics so that we can see what happens on the BAOS. So now that I have started the diagnostics, I go into the web interface and log in with my credentials. And now we have to navigate to the kitchen, and here we can now see our jalousie control. So here with the buttons on the outer side, I can move the blinds either down or up. And when the movement has started, we can also see that we get the feedback from the Multi IO also displayed here in the visualization. And after stopping the jalousie, I can now move the slats with clicking again of one of those two buttons here in the middle. And then on the left hand side, I can start to move the blinds back up. So now let us take a quick look back into the diagnostics, and here we can now see the different telegrams that were sent. So here we start with the down command from the BAOS when I press the button. Then we get all those feedback telegrams from the Multi IO. Then here we have the stop commands and the commands for moving just the slats. And then here down below you can see the last command where I moved the blinds up again. And then here again we can see the feedback. So this is how you can add jalousie or blind control to the visualization of your BAOS 777.